And we are live. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I am so excited. I think I'm excited every day. I can't lie. But I'm even more excited because we've got the voice of Portland on our show today. And I'm so excited to introduce her, Trey Renee, to my best friend D'Angelo, and to start off with a wonderful show. But can we get some quick waves to the beautiful people out there?
Yay. Jazz hands. I got daughters. Jazz hands.
I love it. Hello, every beautiful body out there. My name is Blair G. Hervey. I am the founder and CEO of The Corporate Strategist. As always, I'm joined by my colorful co-host, my soul friend, my bestie of 20 plus years, D'Angelo Crane. Say hi, D.
Hello, Blair Hervey. I am always thrilled to be here with one of the top 20 of 200 applicants who's pitching for her in front of entrepreneur, CEO David John, and best-selling author Tabitha Brown. So I'm so thrilled and abundantly blessed to be in your presence as always, and to bring a little love, light, and laughter to the Black Diva Collective stage as always. So yes, I just want to give you a shout out and always give you your shine because you're so deserving of that.
Thank you. Well, I really appreciate that. Well, thank you again, Dee. And of course, we need to extend a big welcome to our guest, Trey Renee Chambers. We are so excited to have you as well and talk about all the wonderful things you're doing here in Portland.
Thank you guys so much for having me. First of all, hello, everybody. So nice to be here. I am honored to have been asked by my bud, Blair. Like, we see each other out all the time. And it's one of those situations where you just always are like, queen, 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 queen. Every time. And we finally are kind of doing a little something together. And I hope that this is the beginning of beautiful things. And D'Angelo, It is so wonderful to meet you. Your energy and your spirit is just coming through. It's only been a few minutes that I've actually met you, but I already feel like I could be a bestie too.
I love it. I love
it. We welcome them. I don't know if my besties welcome more besties, but we welcome them.
I know that they can be quite territorial, territorial space. Exactly. I understand that, but we can always make room for a little new person to come through.
Exactly.
Moving on. Well, welcome everyone to the Black Diva Collective Live. D, you've already got us started with some great love and light. Do you want to go ahead and kick us off for our stunning segment?
Yes, but you know what I always got to do is what t-shirt is D wearing today? So as we are in second day of Pride, I'm wearing, you can't see it, I got to do better with my screen, but it says love is love. So that's what today's shirt says, and it's a little tie-dye situation. But I'm going to do better with my screen so they can start seeing the full effect of all of my 11,000 Pride shirts that I will be rocking this month. All right. As we do all the time here on the Black Diva Collective, we show you how to dig a little deeper, show some empathy and vulnerability for your employees or your colleagues by doing what we call the art of the check-in. And it's really, like I said, where we just take a moment to breathe and to really ask you, how you feeling? And you can say, I'm not feeling too good, I'm feeling really great, or whatever you want to say that's indifferent. But we want to know truly how are you feeling. And we always start with our Diva superstar of the day. So Trey Renee, how's your heart? How's your mind? How's your soul? How are you feeling today?
Thank you. I am feeling grateful. I am experiencing a lot of personal challenge in my life right now. And, I'm an open book, baby. So people already know what's good with me. But I'm going through a divorce right now of like 20 years. And not the divorce being 20 years, the marriage 20 years. And there have been some very challenging times as of late. And I somehow still manage, by the grace of God, an unshakable inner joy and peace that a lot of people can't seem to understand. A lot of people are like, who know me, are like, how are you still showing up and being on the radio and smiling and doing TV and doing all the things and not like batting an eye? Well, there's professionalism, but there's also an inner peace and joy that if you have that, if you can work on that, and if you can find that, it is priceless. And nobody, and I know it sounds cliche and people say it every day, but you cannot allow anybody to steal your joy. And as hard as they try, baby, and they will try, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. And it's a Friday. I'm here with you all to impart, whatever I can for our community to uplift. And so this is a beautiful day, and I'm here for it.
Amen. She
Oh,
just, come
thank you for
on.
being vulnerable. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. That's what we want people to do. We want this space, and we want all spaces that people go into to feel like they can share. If they say I'm having a day because I have some shit going on in my life, I don't even like to curse, but if they got some stuff going on in my life, I need a moment leader, I need a moment colleague, I need a moment friend. We should allow them that space, whatever that looks like for them, right? And so I thank
Absolutely.
you for being open, vulnerable, and sharing, and uh, exercising what we say, really that deeper conversation of being vulnerable. So thank you. Uh,
Absolutely.
Blair, how's your heart, your mind, your soul, and your busy schedule doing today?
You know what?
I couldn't list all the things you were doing in the post. All the things are fabulous. Go and read the post. I think I'm gonna spread them out over the next several episodes so I can get them all in, of all the dynamic things you're doing to really continue to cultivate this culture and to bring this DEIBA collective work into the corporations all across America. So, but anyhow, tell us about how you're feeling today.
First of all, y'all have got me emotional on on every end of the spectrum. Trey, again, thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing that. I did not know that. And again, both of you all's light is just filling me up with so much joy. I will say, with all the things that are going on, just as a new entrepreneur, the recognition is great. We got to keep that revenue going. And so that sometimes is a challenge, but I'm very grateful to God that I have been filled up with some skills and some poise and some determination that's going to take us all there. So I'm feeling great. It's a beautiful day. How are you feeling, T. D'Angelo? How's your heart? How's your soul? How's your edges?
Oh. Ooh, they need to be retwisted. Let me tell you the truth. That's why I got a little bayang today, because it named the
Not
new
the
growth is real.
bayang.
The bayang today. Yes. I'm excited. It's Friday. I got some sleep from the week that I had. I think I'm waiting for it all to be confirmed, but I think I have a paid speaking gig, like my first real paid speak. Well, maybe my second one. I've done a few, but so I'm just waiting to see if it comes through. And then if anyone else wants to book me to come into your homes and talk, or to your corporations, talk about whatever, I'm available for a small fee. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm right, a small fee. That's what I'm excited about today. All right, Blair. Well, I'm turning it over to you to introduce our wonderful guest today. I feel like, but you already know her. I feel like I need to get caught up. So enlighten me and all of our great listeners and viewers right now.
Well, I'm going to list her accolades for sure. And everyone, if you're not familiar, I don't know how you could not be, particularly if you are Black and if you are in Portland, because this is the voice and the face of Portland, Oregon. This is Trey Renee Chambers. She is an Emmy and Telly Award winning television and radio personality. Oh, queen! Having a career spanning 30 years from Los Angeles to New York to San Francisco and now Portland, Trey is often referred to as, again, the face and voice of Portland, Oregon. You can currently listen to her top-rated Trey Renee show on iHeartMedia's Jammin' 107.5, as you all can see her in studio, weekday afternoons from 3 to 7 p.m. PST, and watch her as a host of her show, Situations and Conversations with Trey Renee, on Fox 12+. Now, I have seen these billboards everywhere. So again, this woman is everywhere. She is making her presence known. She has been making her presence known, and she definitely inspires me to continue to be great. Trey, thank you again for being here. I appreciate you.
Wow. Can I just hire you and get that snippet to play everywhere I go?
I'm working on my voiceover.
Oh my goodness. I mean, if I wasn't already feeling amazing, thank you very much for that amazing introduction. I am really happy to be here, and I have to apologize because I was scheduled to be here like a week or two ago, and again, all the things, right? Like all the things that someone can go through on a personal level can take you out of your professional zen and mode. And so I messed up. And so I'm happy that we could reschedule and that I'm here with you guys today. Thank you so very much. I am eager to jump in and hear what you all want to hear from me, because I am always here for, popping off and giving some good info for the people. I'm all about the collective.
Well, thank you. And we appreciate the accountability, but girl, you are perfectly fine. You are right here at the best time and right on time as well. And for anyone that's just joining, we are going to talk about the challenges, particularly women of color face in the broadcast media. And again, Trey is going to share some of those stories. I shared a little bit of what you have going on right now, but we'd love to hear a little bit more about what got you into broadcasting, what got you into this field, and what was that pivotal moment that said that, you know what, I want to make sure that I'm uplifting my community, and I want to make sure that I'm a light for women of color and Black women.
How much time we at?
20 minutes.
Let me make this quick. Okay, so how did I get into broadcast? I fell into it. You know, sometimes you just have to pay attention to what the universe is telling you and not necessarily what you think you're going to be doing. So I had finished my master's program, and I have a master's in social work as well. So I'm a licensed clinical therapist also, had a private practice for years. But one day I was at a club as a wing woman from a girlfriend. I did not want to be there, and it showed, because anybody who knows me, everything is all right here. And the host of the club came over, and at this point I was living in Los Angeles, and, you know, she was like chalking me up, and I thought, okay, I'm good. And she says, well, you know, you kind of have a really cool voice. Do you know who I am? And then she told me, and I didn't believe her, because she was this white woman who was on this heritage Black station. And I thought for years that she was Black. I mean, she didn't put on in like a Black scent or anything like that. I just assumed. And back then, you didn't have social media to show you what people look like on the radio. So you just had an idea. Well, that sparked more conversation. Long story short, we had a lot in common. And she said that she thought I had a voice for radio. And I laughed like, girl, I'm putting on my social work cape. I'm about to save the world, save a child one by one, you know. And she was like, yeah. Come see me at the studio. And this was the #1 station in Los Angeles at the time. It was 92.3 The Beat. And there was just no way in the world. I just never even thought about this in my life. But I was curious. And so I called her, and it was the right number. And long story short, that was over 30 years ago. And I continued my education, but I did radio by night. I started off as a grunt doing street team work, building things and setting up so the real people could come out, you know, the real stars can come do their thing. But I had access, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Yeah. And then eventually they nudged me. They just kept hearing me. I just wanted to have a job so I didn't have to pay for my entertainment, basically, because I was a struggling student. And that led to them really liking my voice and deciding that they wanted me to be on air. Started doing on air overnights, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. By now I've graduated, and I'm working at the Department of Children and Family Services in Los Angeles in adoptions by day, 9 to 6. And then I would go home, brush my teeth, take a shower, eat a little something, and head to the station, take a little nap, head to the station for 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. and do it all over again. Well, child, that was in my early 20s. And that's when I thought that I could do everything. And I was for a while, until my body was like, hey, you can't sustain this. And I literally passed out one day, I had no symptoms. I didn't feel anything. I just went to get out the bed and collapsed. Thankfully, my godmother was there. She took me to the hospital. The doctor was like, after I told the doctor everything I was doing, he was like, yeah, no, you are completely drained. Like, you have 0 electrolytes. Like, you got to pick. And I thought, pick? I got student loans attached to my, you know what I'm saying? Like, So long story, ended up choosing radio because when I got home, there was a blinking light telling me, that's old school, I'm dating myself, but the voicemail had a blinking light. And it said they wanted to offer me a job in radio, morning show on my home station in San Francisco, where I'm from, KMEL. And it was like, what? Like, that's unheard of. And I took it, and I've been doing radio ever since. It took me from San Francisco to New York to, you know, back to LA, back to San Francisco, and now here in Portland. And so that was the Lord telling me, listen, I'm trying to tell you what you need to be doing.
That's right.
And you can do both. You can serve the community and be on, you know, the radio and TV. But this is the medium by which I really want you to do this. And I was resistant, very, because I was like, this is not, you know, my dad kind of raised me to be like more practical. You know, I always had dreams of being on camera doing stuff. I love movies, but he was always like, yeah, stick to the books. So it just wasn't practical. So I was pushing it, and God was like, I'm pushing this and you gonna listen. So I'm gonna sit your behind down, and then you're gonna have to listen. And that's what happened. So
I love it.
Did that answer everything?
In summary, yes, it did. I heard two themes though. Number one, radio chose you. So you weren't trying to choose radio. Radio definitely chose you. And number two, for anyone who's been watching our show since the beginning of April, I think we have about 40 something episodes at this point. There's this theme of women leaders who are often pushing us out of our comfort zones or pulling us under their wing as well. So I love this theme of women continuing to lift while they climb. So thank you for sharing that. Right.
Yes.
Well, I had a great opening about women who've been the fact amount that Oprah has walked so many women like Tamron Hall and Angela Yee and Wendy Williams could soar. So that's why we're having this great discussion today about the triumphs and challenges of women in broadcasting. But you all have already started the conversation, so let's dig into it. So I have so many things to ask you, but I'm going to stick to my questions that I have that I kind of prepared today. So we're seeing a trend lately with celebrities such as Sherry Shepherd and Jennifer Hudson getting into the daytime talk show world. So when you think about other people who are doing this work in a more traditional sense, is there still space for them? And if so, how do you get there? How do you ascend to those levels of Oprah and have the same trajectory when the celebrities are taking over that space of the traditional talk show host?
Right. That's a good question, because that comes up in my girlfriend host circle a lot. It makes it a little more challenging because now here's the deal. We're in the day and age where it's all about how many followers you have, how many likes you get on something. And obviously a celebrity is going to have far more exposure and visibility than perhaps, someone like myself, who is a seasoned professional in this space. And and let's be honest, we're human beings. And I'm the type of person who really uplifts anyone and everyone if you're qualified to do it, to do the job. And I have to have that caveat in there because there are a lot of people who are like, Trey, put me on. And I'm like, okay, and I see, and I go, you're not ready. Or this is not, I don't see this being your lane, but here's some other things you can do. And then people want to say, oh, you hating on me. No, there's a couple things that are at play here. One, I don't want you to embarrass yourself and get yourself in a situation where you are going to be discouraged because you're not ready or this is not your seat on the bus. Don't mean you can't be on the media bus, but maybe it's not in front of the camera bus. It could be production bus. It could be camera. It could be research. Who knows? Other thing is, let's keep in mind, I have my own reputation to also keep intact, where I can't just be putting any and everybody on. And then, God forbids, people are like, oh, Trey referred so-and-so, and that was a mess. No. We're going to go through some boot camp first before I do anything. But my point is, I will and I do believe in uplifting other people. That said, though, I'm a human being, and sometimes I feel some kind of way when I see people who are not necessarily who I believe to be qualified in this space, getting the national talk shows and getting the coveted positions, because there aren't very many of them. Let's be honest. In media, it looks like, oh, look at all these people, but look at all these people. They don't look like us. Yeah, we're doing better. We are doing these companies and even these production companies and producers are doing way better, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a ways to go. So then, when you see somebody like a Sherry Shepherd, who actually, I was rooting for Sherry because I think she's qualified to do so. Yes. Jennifer Hudson, I love me some Jennifer. I don't know that she's necessarily qualified to be having her own talk show. I think there's other lanes and avenues where she would far better excel. And somebody else can come in here and do something, a more seasoned, like a Tamron Hall, who I adore, but I also say everybody has their own lane, and there is room for everybody to do something. And that doesn't mean that, I had to hate on you so that I can be in that spot. What's for me is for me, and what's for you is for you. I really believe that. I've seen it in my career. where, two, four, 6, 10 people go for the same thing. And, only one person can get it. But that doesn't mean that the other, 9 out of the 10 are just asked out. Sorry, D. I know you don't like to curse, but I do. Are just asked out and now, they don't have none. No, there's a lane. There's something for everybody out here. There's enough for everybody to eat as long as people aren't trying to hoard all the food.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that too. I'm sorry, D. Were you about to say something as well?
No, I was just agreeing. I was just agreeing.
Because I think about us in this space as well. I hear people using that word often, even in the DEIBA space, the diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, and allyship space. There are people who came from, like me, I have an unconventional path, right? I went through the sales, tech, executive coaching line of work to evolve into this DEIBA work. But there are people like D'Angelo who's been doing this work for a very long time. And so they may see me and say, well, she's not really qualified because she doesn't have this background. So let's talk a little bit more about the qualification and the lifting while you climb, because I heard you say the word boot camp. I wonder if you have ever considered like a broadcasting boot camp for Black women. I love a good alliteration, where you have, a group of women where you can lift them up. You can say, hey, you're not ready, but these are some indicators and some things that you can start working on to become much more qualified. Had you considered that? Do you have anything in the works like that?
I actually have considered that. Thank you so much for teeing that up. You didn't even know this. I have considered it, and I am working on the curriculum as we speak. For that reason, I am, well, I only want to be in front of the camera for so long. It takes a lot, and I'm not really that girl. Just at heart, I'm not the girl for the makeup and the hair every day. That's a lot for me. Some people are into that. And so for me, it's like, okay, I'm getting a little tired of this. So for those who don't know, like I did host a show every day, afternoon live on the ABC affiliate out here in Portland. And it was a lot went into that every single day, and I get a little tired. So my point is, I was like, okay, it's time to start seeing if I have this platform and I have a little bit of connection, how about bringing in some other sisters who can also be known as the faces, right? It's nice to be known as the face and the voice of Portland, but can we have some voices and faces that go with that? And so that's what I'm working on. And even with my show, I'm started already with Situations and Conversations with Trey Renee, having more people in front of the camera this season. I don't know if anybody's really paid attention, but I have a lot of different melanated beauties with me sitting on the Hey Trey segments that we do at the end of the show. Throughout with the artist spotlight, I'm like, no, you take it. Let me show you how to do it. Let me show you. So that was like, hey, I think I could actually do this as a class, as a boot camp. Yes. And so Blair, I think maybe we may need to talk behind the scenes and see how much more we can do together on this. Since you already have the moniker, you already, you got the vision, honey. Let's keep that going, because it's nothing if we don't pass it along.
That's right. Well, we'll talk more about it and think about how we can work together for sure. Look at D just beaming.
Oh, I'm beaming because I love all this Black girl magic going on, Black woman magic going on right now. That inspires me. When we lift Black women, the whole world lifts together, and we continue to see that, right? Right. So question, talking about Black women, I have so many questions for you. So you just got to come back. But here's the question I want to ask you is that, how has your 3 daughters inspired or influenced the way you interview people or the content you're putting out there?
Ooh, that is a good one. So yes, I have an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, and if I don't say she's going to be 11 next week, she's going to kill me. So an almost 11-year-old.
Okay.
And they shape everything that I do these days. And I am far more conscious of the content that I'm putting out. I want to make sure that they would be proud or at least learn something from whatever it is that I'm putting out there. And sometimes, they teaching me, especially actually all 3, because the perspectives are so different. These generations, this young generation, they don't give AF, period. They're like, and this what we think, this what it is, and if you're not with it, then you can go somewhere. Like I'm not with any of the BS, and I'm loving it, right? Like only thing I'm not a big fan of the cancel culture. I'm more a fan of the counsel culture. So sometimes, my daughters will be like, oh, so-and-so did this and that's it. It's over. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. If you only knew some of the stuff that some of these other people doing, or even that I've done that wasn't, able to be put out on social media. Nobody can pull the tape. Nobody can pull the audio. I mean, sometimes when you're young and you don't know or something, sometimes people need to be counseled, not necessarily canceled. And so, as much as I learn from them, they learn from me, but they definitely influence everything because I'm representing them. I mean, people sometimes say, oh, your kids represent you. No, I'm representing them. I brought them in here by the grace, right? So I have to do my best to make sure that I'm representing. Some want to be somebody they're proud of and not down the line go, oh my God, my mother. Oh my God. And they will do that. Oh my God. Oh my
but we're
God.
human, Trey. You're allowed. You're allowed. Let them be embarrassed from time to time, because I think some of that embarrassment comes from us just trying new things and being risk takers. But yeah, we don't want to be out there embarrassing them. But
well, sometimes I do, because I'll do a TikTok in a heartbeat and be like, and they're like, oh my God, Mom, you're too old to be on TikTok. I'm like, whatever. I am proud to be 50 this year. This is the 50th year of hip hop, and it's my 50th year, and I'm celebrating. And I don't give a damn if you like me twerking a little bit or not. How about that?
Now I gotta follow you on TikTok. Now I gotta follow.
Oh Lord, they may need to delete the videos, but more are coming.
I love it. I'll just say that our audience is loving our conversation as well. If you're familiar with Karen D. Foster, I know you are, Trey, but Karen is the founder of KF Curates, and she actually works with me as well with the Visionary Squad. She said, I love this, y'all. Visions and collaborations coming together. Absolutely.
Loving it.
A part of that broadcasting boot camp as well. So we'll have to
talk about that for real. I'm with that.
Listen, once it's said, it's done, it's done. So, and this is what I would do next. Now, I listen to The Breakfast Club every day. One of my favorite radio personalities is definitely Charlamagne the God. Everybody knows this. And of course, you, Trey, of course. But when I listen to Charla always talk about AI most recently, right? And he's just like, it's going to destroy humanity. And so many people are saying that. When I'm even thinking about this boot camp, some of my thoughts are coming out in my mind or coming to my mind. I'm like, I'm going to put an outline together. I'm going to throw it in Chat GPT, see what it spits out, and then let's start building from there. What are your thoughts on AI? Or have you got into it at all?
I haven't gotten into it at all. I'm a woman of a certain age, as I have said, and I grew up watching Terminator. And that scared the shit out of me. And to this day, I am like, AI, whatever. If they're going to take over the world and they're not going to need human beings, and maybe I'm crazy, but that stuff comes from somewhere, and I'm scared to death that people are going to be eliminated in all sorts of ways, in the job market, and maybe even on the planet. And I know it may sound crazy, but that's how I feel. I'm scared. And maybe it's also because I am technically challenged. So fear of the unknown is very real. I try not to live my life that way. I try to live by faith and not by fear. But this AI, child, let me tell y'all, I am a little shooketh.
Trey Renee, every time I see it, I'm like, who's Al? Who's Al? I ain't doing nothing with Al. I don't want to do nothing with it. Okay. Stay away from me. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm a man of a certain age. I don't do the Snapchatter, all those things. I can't get into it. Not me. No.
I'm scared.
I am too. I don't know nothing about that. I can't even get used to using this Alexa. How she be knowing everything about us?
And Siri always trying to tell me when to breathe. How you know I'm not breathing? Bitch, be quiet.
See, I cannot. The two of y'all, I'm telling you, maybe it's the tech girl in me, since I've been in the tech space for at least a decade.
Exactly.
but I'm gonna pray for y'all. Amen. D'Angelo, I know, I know we didn't spend a lot of time on the topic, but did you have one more good question for Trey Renee before we move on?
I mean, I did, but we're at the very end of the show because I wanted to have. I know we gotta have a break because I wanted to ask. We gotta talk about this next time. The difference between journalism and just because there was all the kerfuffle about the social media personality who asked a question of a certain hip hop star that was inappropriate, and so there was all these questions about should social media stars be on the red carpet and the questions that they're asking. So this may go back to your boot camp. How do you get people prepared to do that? When they're not a trained journalist and the questions they should ask. And so there's lots of kerfuffle about that. And there was lots of kerfuffle about the way that Tamron Hall asked questions when people come on her show. And so I think we should talk, like I said, we need to have a plus two, a part two.
I would love it. I'm here for it. And I want to share why I left broadcast television to start my own show, because it has everything to do with being a Black woman in the media.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what we got to do. Okay.
All
right.
Yeah. Oh, you sure? Okay. Well, we'll definitely get you scheduled for the upcoming weeks or maybe next month. We'll let people, of course, have an opportunity to watch this. Trey, you are full of life, full of light, full of energy. Again, since I've seen you, met you, known you, I don't usually say this about a lot of people or a lot of women, but I'm like, I want to be like that when I grow up. So what? I appreciate you just being you.
Oh my gosh.
Why she's so surprised? I love it. Queen. You feel me? But thank you again for being here, D'Angelo. Thank you again, of course, for sharing your love and light. And everyone that has tuned in with us today, we greatly appreciate you all's dedication and support to our cause. We will be here every single weekday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your daily dose of D&B with D&B. And do not forget, please, to make sure that you donate to our cause, to send us to Afrotech so we can actually interview people in person on their red carpet. So we'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great weekend, and we'll see y'all Monday.